my son was telling me that there's this big buzz now out there about Kirkland golf. That you know that people think that they're better than those titles, and they're charging like $1 a ball compared to $4 a ball. And there's a secondary market for these Casco golf balls. There's people are selling them on eBay for like $70 a case or whatever.
Call a meeting of the Finance Committee to order at 7 o'clock on the 17th of January, 2017. We have two people who have asked to be excused, Mr. Miller and Mr. Winarski, and the third person who's asked to be allowed to come in late, Mr. Goodell. I'll accept a motion for that. Mr. Van Trulen.
To excuse Mr. Goodell and Mr. Miller. We need to refer to Mr. Goodell at all in that motion?
And Winarski. I'm sorry. Winarski and Miller are the ones that are going to be excused, and then Goodell. Yeah, let's excuse Dave for being late.
And Mr. Goodell.
Okay. Mr. Buchenwald.
Second, please.
There's a motion and a second to excuse Mr. Goodell, Mr. Winarski, and Mr. Miller. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. The motion is carried 4-0. One item, A1704, authorization to bid and award the Elyria Avenue Repairs and Improvements Project, Ohio Public Works Commission, Issue 1, Round 31. Mr. Mayor.
Thanks. This is a project we get funding and grant money from the state of Ohio each year. Aaron from Bramhall Engineering is here to answer any of your questions. But one thing I would like to just make a comment. All three of the street-related items tonight, I really would appreciate it, and I think it would be good for the city if we send those to the floor of the council with the emergency. I mean, the sooner we can get, and Aaron could probably even answer to the reasons, some of the issues, it would be good to do that. But the sooner especially the sooner we can get these to bid, I really truly think the better prices we can get for the residents. So I'll probably mention it each time, but keep that in mind when you make your motion, please. And I'd defer any questions to Aaron if anybody has questions for him.
What is the pleasure of council? Questions? Mr. Buchenwald.
Thank you. Mr. Opelka, if you could just give us an overview of the project and the anticipated start and date.
Absolutely.
Could you
You might
come to
want to
the
come up here.
microphone and just state your name and the company you represent?
Aaron Appel with Bramhall Engineering, with the consulting engineer for the city. The overall project is on Elyria Avenue, starts over at Middle Ridge and will run all the way to South Main Street. The existing concrete pavement will be resurfaced. We'll be doing intermittent repairs, a lot of catch basin repairs throughout the project. Traffic will be maintained. Do a lot of curb repairs out there. And the project schedule, we'd like to get going on engineering as soon as possible so that we can get the bid documents ready. Bid opening, we would be looking at around May of this year, so that we're ready to send that to the state of Ohio. Those funds will be available July 1st as typical with Ohio Public Works projects. So we can't start construction before then. We'd like to get all the paperwork into Columbus as soon as possible.
And you anticipated finishing, how long would the project last?
Should be around September when we finish up, so a couple months.
Will there be a resurfacing after repair of the concrete?
Correct.
And it's going to be blacktop?
Correct.
Okay. That's all my questions. Thank you.
Mr. Kukuka.
Yeah, Aaron, will there be any stormwater work need to be done, or like cammering to make sure that people aren't tiding in the wrong way or anything like that?
That work is actually underway by the utility department.
Yeah.
The storm and the sanitary has been probably about 50% has been inspected, videoed, and cleaned. So
Did
those,
you see any major repairs that way coming
No,
up?
no significant
Nothing.
issues.
Okay.
Correct.
All right, thank you.
Mr. Ramsey.
Do we know when the monies will have to be ready for the payments to be made? I just want to make sure that we have enough planning so that we have those funds not tied up in investment, that we have them ready to be paid in cash. So I don't know if you guys could maybe give us some kind of schedule on how much and when in the year you think you'll need it.
No problem.
Thanks.
That's still being looked at, Claire's Watkins?
What's that?
That's still being looked at, Claire's?
Myself declares.
Yeah.
Mr. Bukovac.
I'd like to make a motion to take A1704 to the floor of council with the addition of the emergency clause as requested by Mayor Costello.
Is there a second? Mr. Janik.
Second.
There's a motion and a second to take it to the floor of council with the emergency. Any further comments or questions? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Those opposed say nay. Motion is carried 4-0. Mr. Bukovac.
I'll move to adjourn.
I have a second, Mr. Janik.
Second.
There's a motion and a second to adjourn. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Those opposed say nay. The vote is 4-0, and we are adjourned at 7:09.
I'd like to call the Streets Committee into session at 7:09. Attendance will be carried over from the previous finance meeting with the exception of the addition of, oh, that was in there, Mr. Goodell. I have two items on the agenda this evening. First item is A1703, the authorization to bid and award the 2017 Street Rehabilitation Program. This is submitted by Mr. Costello. Mr. Mayor, how would you like to speak on it?
I think I would. Again, I would just like to ask for the emergency on this, same deal. The sooner we can get this bid and awarded, the sooner we can get the work done. I think the better prices we can get. There was a comment made about the last project about camera and infrastructure work under the roads. There is a significant amount of sanitary sewer work that because of the camera work that we've done, that it's part of this project, but it's funded differently. If you look in the letter, a certain portion of this is funded with the 206 fund, which is the income tax street improvement, and the 610 fund, which is going to handle the sanitary sewer portion of the project, that's funded differently. So I just wanted to point it out that this is one big project. I think it'll be bid in two separate packages, but because it's related to the street improvements, I wanted to do it all in one agenda item. So, and again, Mr. Appel will be here to ask any of your other questions if you wish. Thank you.
Would the council like to have any questions or comments? Anybody else? I will entertain a motion. Mr. Ventura?
I'd like to move this on the floor of council for the emergency request.
Mr. Goodell?
Second.
There's a motion to send A1703 to the floor of council with the emergency. All those in favor signify by saying aye. All those opposed, say nay. It passes 4-0. 5-0. Thank you. Next item up for discussion is A1705. Authorization to bid and award the widening of Kresge Drive. This also was submitted by Mayor Costello. Mr. Costello?
Thank you. This project's come up in front of council on several different occasions. Part of it was with the agreement with Mr. Nardini and his business about participating in the cost of this project. So this has been engineered to improve that area within the amount of distance that the property owner has. And I think it was a real good agreement. I think the agreement's included in your package. So the city will need to completely fund this project, and within the agreement, when it's significantly complete, Mr. Nardini will pay his portion. So I've asked for more than than half the project. Like I said, we need to fund the whole thing, but when it's almost finished and to a point of completion which is satisfies the contract, Mr. Nardini will write us a check for up to $65,000 or half of the project, up to $65,000. So if you have any questions about the project itself, Mr. Appel is probably the best one to answer those. So I'll defer to him if you have any questions. And again, the emergency, if at all possible, I think this will expedite the construction season and get us the best prices.
Mrs. Wasil?
Maybe we could have Mr. Appel come up and just talk about it, describe the project. You've described it before, but I think it'd be probably a good idea.
So the Kresge Drive, fronting the Century Plaza development in the Mayflower, which is across the street on the north side of Kresge. We would widen that pavement from 2 lanes to 3 lanes. The widening would be concrete. That would be widened equally on both sides of the road. There's some minor castings to be adjusted, utility castings, catch basins to be relocated. Aprons to be repaired. Project we'd be looking to engineer it as soon as possible, like the mayor said, get it out the bid for a late spring bid.
Any additional questions, Mr. Goodell?
I don't have any questions, but I'd just like to make a motion to take this to the floor of council with the emergency.
Mr. Janik?
I just have a question.
We have a motion on the floor.
Sorry.
We have a motion, we have to,
Like, can I still ask a question, or?
after the motion, yes.
Okay, I'll second.
Okay, please go ahead.
So before the newer plaza on the right-hand side, will it be widened, and then I'm understanding it's coming 2 lanes over the bridge, over the Beaver Creek Bridge?
Correct. It'll still be 2 lanes over the bridge.
So before where the restaurants are, the newer building where the Aldi's is, and the, brand new businesses, it'll be down to 2 lanes at that point, correct?
The
Or is
widening,
that, will it be,
if you know where the car wash is, that's
Correct.
kind of where Century Plaza starts.
okay,
So from there, it's 3 lanes right now.
okay,
3 lanes wide, about a little over 36 feet wide. And then it necks down to 2 currently.
right,
So we would start widening at the car wash, heading east towards the bridge. So that entire section will be widened to 3 lanes.
okay.
That'd be a short taper to go from 3 lanes to 2 lanes right at the bridge there.
Right before the Giant Eagle stop sign then.
Yeah.
Before that, yeah.
So
It
is
is
this a
a bridge.
turning lane essentially for folks that are turning right and then through traffic can go around them, or?
The pavement markings is part of the engineering. We're gonna figure out what is the best way to stripe that area.
Okay,
Whether it's a turn lane or what we call a 2-way left turn lane where you have that center turn lane.
would this affect any parking spaces for the folks in the plaza where the Papa John's and Don Tequila's and
None of
those
that.
frontage spaces, or?
No.
And then maybe just one comment, the bridge itself is probably the most cost restrictive portion of that section of road. I think we would try to widen it further if we could, but the bridge itself would be a very costly endeavor. So this is just the way to improve it as much as possible, as quick as possible, and within our limits.
Thank you.
Any additional questions? I have a motion on the floor and a second to take this before council with the emergency. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Thank you.
All those opposed? Passes 5-0. As my last item, Mr. Janik. Mr. Goodell?
Second.
I have a motion to adjourn and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. All those opposed? We are adjourned at 7:16. I got all the papers though. That's cool. No, you do it, dude. Not bad. She gave me work the papers for this. Good job. Did you get the originals?
Well, yeah. I didn't, yeah, I didn't.
So Stacy, I was ready, but he wasn't.
Yep.
No, you got it.
Oh. Evening, members of administration, members of council, and the press. We'll call this meeting to order for ordinances at 7:17 p.m. We'll use the attendance from the previous two committee meetings. And what we have in front of us is A-17, or I'm sorry, agenda number 1702. A-1702. This is the ordinance to approve the current replacement pages to the Amherst codified ordinances and declaring an emergency. Do we have any comments on the pages? Mr. Mayor or anybody from
I
administration?
assume this is just typical practice. You guys pass all kinds of ordinances throughout the years, and these are all put into paper form, and you're just agreeing what you've already done last year.
Any comments from council? Mr. Van Turen?
I have a quick question, maybe for the law director or for somebody who's more familiar with the legislation. And I looked, it was brought to mind by seeing that some of this refers to fireworks in the city. Do we have anything in our ordinances that prohibits people from setting up, I guess they call them Chinese lanterns, that have a candle on them and then float into the air?
I don't know the answer to that.
I don't know,
I
that's
don't
an
know.
interesting question, 'cause I've seen them floating.
All right, I'll do some more research on my own. When I lived in Harris, actually somebody set one off and it got caught up in the top of a telephone pole and set the top of it on fire. So I'll probably do some more research and see if that's warranted. I would move to send this on the floor of council as emergency needed.
It's on there.
With the emergency, okay.
Yep. Thank you, Mr. Van Turen. Mr. Goodell?
I will second.
Thank you very much. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. I'll entertain another motion. Mr. Buchbach?
Move to adjourn.
Is there a second? Mr. Goodell?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. We are adjourned at 7:20.
Tony, I can look closer at it, see myself.
If you send me an email, I'd be glad to look at that. Yeah.
You know what, Mr. Goodell?
It's not a firework.
History is, somebody
Making
from
noise.